Standard Media Group for providing us this opportunity of coming to this studio to be able to explain.
All right, sorry, I understand there's that slight challenge with your microphone. We'll just fix that. So maybe we can take that, Dr. Angeline, just to give us a description of what the Jooust conference is all about.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gitonga. The Jooust Second International Conference has very clearly stated objectives. One of them is to provide room for the participants to identify the knowledge gaps that are there in terms of sustainable development as pertains our government agenda. Secondly, it also aims at creating opportunities for the participants to identify any solutions that could be there with respect to priority areas. And we are geared to the sustainable development goals as per our government agenda. Thirdly, the Jooust International Conference also aims at bringing together the academia, the private sector, and the government so that they can talk to each other, so that we end up with informed policy-making decisions based on findings of this conference.
Okay. Maybe this being the second one, what lessons have been drawn from the first one that possibly would be implemented now in this second one?
Maybe I can take up that. The first Jooust International Conference was conducted in 2015, and our theme was harnessing science, technology, and innovation for sustainable development. The second one is still on the same line, but this one is theme is promoting creativity, innovation and productivity for sustainable development. So we can see that they are almost similar, but we have learned from the first one that there are certain things we need to move. And the things that we need to move are related to our innovation, our creativity, innovation, and now productivity. We want to produce and commercialize some of the experiences we have had in the first conference. We are bringing together local scholars, international scholars, researchers, people from the industry to come and help us boost our activities as far as this program is concerned.
All right, and maybe at this point it would be good to know who are the participants, who are the people who are going to be participating?
Our participants are mainly our local people, our scholars, academic members of staff, researchers from our own sister institutions in the country, researchers from international organizations. We have people who are coming as far as West Africa, Cameroon. We are people coming from our local region, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe. We have the Chinese also attending, and the people from Europe, Norwegian specifically. So it's going to be a big conference which is going to involve quite a number of people interacting. We are also expecting quite a number of our own local key important people. We have in this conference we have what we are calling the keynote address. We'll be able to hear addresses from important people. We are expecting the conference to be opened by Dr. Evangeline. She's called Evangeline. She's at the UNESCO. She is a Secretary General of UNESCO, Evangeline Joka, who will be our key chief guest. Then we have our governors, our local governors, the governor of Siaya, the governor of His Excellency Cornera Sanga, the governor of Kisumu, His Excellency Professor Nyang'nyong, and the governor of Kakamega, who is also the chair of the Council of Governors. They are expected to be in this conference, and we'll be very happy to have them as well.
All right. Now, let me come to you, Dr. Angeline, and we've talked about innovation and productivity. Maybe sticking to innovation for now, are there specific innovations that you're targeting, or which areas of innovation are you looking at?
Okay, Jooust is very much concerned about innovation, and as at now, we already have a patented innovation system which deals with marine security. This is a product of the School of Biological Sciences, the Department of Physical Sciences. Other researchers are also there with respect to innovative ideas, and we expect to sell these ideas in relation to partnerships and collaborations. Yes.
All right, and some of these collaborations and partnerships, how do you see them working or panning out after the conference? Because that's a good place to start, but how is that, are there structures that are in place that are going to ensure that those partnerships are maintained?
Well, in most cases, after the conference, there is normally some blueprint that is put across, and we do expect that at the end of this, our conference, the blueprints will be able to be used in terms of policy-making documents, so that we can be able to have partnerships that are documented, that are knowledge-driven, that are skill-driven, relative to the innovative systems that are there in place.
All right.
Yes, just
to
add on patents, I think we are very proud as an institution. Jooust is now an African center of excellence in sustainable use of insects for food and feed. And we got a World Bank grant of about $600,000 US for the next 5 years. And we have now patented part of that. It is so important to us that we want now to commercialize some of the foods that we can be able to produce and based on insects. Insects are edible to many people in the world, and yet they have not been commercialized. So we are telling them, and that was one of the most interesting thing. And Jooust is actually spearheading that for this region.
All right.
And for that, we have a number of trainees from the region, from the East African region, who are now training, taking up PhDs and master's programs in food security.
Okay, and that's an interesting area to have, because I know that's one of the sub-themes, agriculture, food security and nutrition, and possibly just how that is going to be carried forward, because that's one of the agendas for the government, so it definitely would be in line with what Kenya is trying to achieve. What are some of the challenges that you possibly have foreseen in terms of ensuring that food security is realized?
Quite a lot of challenges. One, there has been very little interest in among our people in terms of picking up new ideas
and technology as well.
And technology as well. And that is very key, because we want now to try and give them, train them, capacity build them to be able to pick up that. So the people we are training are now going out to the farming communities, to the communities around, and telling them, yes, we have these things. We can now be able to use them for producing more food, and not only relying on the conventional foods that you have had from before. So that's a key challenge, but we are trying to use that to capacity build, to empower the people to be able to come up with
innovative ways.
Yes.
Okay. And maybe,
another challenge that I would post is our cultural practices. People are used to the old traditional ways of doing things. So there is need for us to embrace change, embrace the new technologies, because they aim at increasing food productivity and food security, as well as nutrition.
Do you have an avenue where you can look at scientific ways of even developing agriculture? And by this, what I mean, you've talked about tradition. You'll find in certain areas they're used to growing certain foods, but maybe those are not necessarily the best foods for that area. Maybe that, but that needs to be informed by science and investigations into those areas. Is that something that maybe you're likely to look at?
We have a very vibrant School of Agriculture where we are trying to come up with technologies that would be disseminated to our people. And if we look at our mission, the mission of Jooust is outreach to the community and advancement of humanity. So with that respect, we aim at coming up with these technologies, and selling them to our people, disseminating the information, and in the process we believe that there will be that cultural change, that our people will be able to embrace new technologies and use the technology transfers for advancement as well as increasing food security and nutrition.
All right, we'll need to wind up shortly, but maybe just to give, yeah, go on.
Maybe the other, we have, she has mentioned the schools of agriculture. We also have a school of engineering and technology. We also have a school of public health. And these schools are very useful. They're actually helping us try to meet the agenda for the presidential agenda that we know of. And we are using them. And part of the papers that are going to be presented by our researchers will be related to that agenda. And therefore, we are actually inviting quite a number of people to come and listen to us related to what we are going to present in this conference.
Dr. Orwa, your closing comments, and also include the venue, when this is going to be taking place, and who is invited. Is it anybody?
The conference will be at the Grand Royal Swiss Hotel in Kisumu, off Kisumu Kakamega Road. We have eminent personalities that have been invited to come and give the keynote addresses. We have both local and international participants, researchers, and even young upcoming scientists who will come and disseminate and even showcase the innovations. Yes.
All right.
That will be presented. There will be a lot of university industry interactions, and we are looking forward to people coming to listen and hear some of what our people can be able, or our staff can be able to offer.
And is the invite open to anyone who wants to come?
Yes, it's open, but through registration, I think we should be able to be allowed to come and listen.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning. That's Professor Benson Estambale and Dr. Angeline Ochung Orwa. And the Jooust conference is what we're talking about. The invite is out there, so make sure that you take advantage, particularly if you're in that area of Kisumu. It's now 28 minutes after 8. We take a break. We'll be right back.